I'm afraid it's all just going to collapse, but I guess we'll see here in just a minute. These guys have been working hard. I think we're having a good time.
Welcome back to McPherson Family Vlogs. Good morning. It is a work morning for me. Sam's already out with the girls, and I'm getting some work done for CMA this morning on my computer and doing some stuff from home. But tonight, we are going to be doing something special with the youth group. And so I'm going to bring you guys in on that, let you guys see a little bit about what we're doing. I'm going to be taking a portion of my small group from church camping. But we're going to be doing like a very primitive style of camping, something I did at a summer camp years and years ago, and I hope that it's going to turn out right. So I'm going to take a minute and just show you some of the supplies we're going to be using, kind of show you the idea, and then later today, after I finish work, I will show you some of the actual footage of how it turns out, and hopefully it's going to be a really cool thing. So you guys check it out. Primitive camping with my small group. Yay! But I'm going to be pulling some stuff out and just kind of showing you some of the supplies that we have for the camping trip. So the first thing that I bought is a couple of like really big tarps. So I got one that was, I think, 10 by 16. And then the other one was 12 by 24. So it's like a little wider, but it's quite a bit longer, right? And those are the two tarps that we got. And then I got a bunch of these little camping stakes that look like this. The reason would be so that we can put that tarp in the ground and it's not going to blow off anywhere. And we'll get back to those in just a second. I also got us a big round of this paracord stuff, which you can just unravel, and it's really, really strong. It's easy to tie off. And so we're going to be using this a couple of different ways. And it's just good to have on a camping trip in case you need to ever tie anything up, like a trash bag or whatever. You can use this stuff too. And then, of course, what youth camp out would be complete without some kind of a fire starter? But yeah, all right, so let me give you the basic idea of how we're going to set up this primitive campsite. So we got these tent stakes, like I said. Basically, there's a couple different ways of doing it. One way is you just try to find a couple of trees that are a good distance apart, kind of like you would for a hammock, you know? So you kind of find a couple of trees like that, and then you would take your paracord and you would make, a little attachment on both trees and string it taut, like as tight as you possibly can between these two trees. Then with that paracord, you could just literally drape the tarp over both sides, and then you take these tent stakes and you stretch one end of the tarp out to, I guess I said it's 24 feet long, so you'd stretch it out as far as you could with that 12-foot length and stake it in the ground, and then do the same thing on the other side. And then with that paracord holding it taut in the middle, you're going to end up with like a little bit of kind of like an archway, where here's your paracord holding it up in the middle, and this side is staked into the ground, so is this side. And you kind of have like a little lean-to type of tent. It's open on both ends. And then with the other tarp, typically I just kind of put it on the ground so that they have something to sleep on rather than just sleeping on the cold, wet grass. And so the first thing we'll do is kind of identify where we want to put it down, and then we'll take this small tarp and we'll attach it to the ground with some stakes. And then we'll do the paracord through the trees, and we'll attach this over. Now, my group today they're a bunch of guys, and I think that what we're going to do is we're probably going to try to go to a couple trees and cut them down, right? So that we can get this like big long limb, and then we'll take that. And I think the idea that the guys have is that we're going to build our own little like tent frame, and then just use the tarp to go over the top of it like we would drape it over the paracord, and stake it into the ground like that. But we would have like a couple of sticks that are A-framing up this log, and of course we would attach all that with paracord and then use the tarp. So we'll see what we end up doing, but I'm going to show you guys as we go. But again, all you need: tent stakes, paracord, and I guess if you're thinking tools, you probably want a hammer, for the tent stakes. You probably want an axe if you're going to cut down trees. But the biggest expense, of course, is the tarps. They're not super cheap. So the two that I got, one, the big one, I believe, let's see, that was $30, I think, for the 12 by 24, and then the smaller one was $20. But they're just not cheap no matter how you get them. So it is now about 4 o'clock, and I'm going to pick up some of the guys, and we're getting ready to go. We're going to go out to where the campsite's going to be and get set up before too long. So hope you guys are going to enjoy this. I'm excited to see how it's all going to work. You guys ready to go?
Yeah, we're ready.
All right, we have the whole group together.
Yeah.
And we're getting ready to set up the campsite. So we're looking for somewhere that's level, maybe has some trees around. So yeah, then we'll be starting to set up the tent. Right over here. We're about to lay out the tarp in just a minute, and the guys are getting the frame ready. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and then we'll drape the tarp over and pin it down. So we'll show you guys what we're doing in just a minute. We got the first tarp put down. So picked out a nice flat spot. We got it staked to the ground on all the corners and sides so that we have a nice place to sleep now. Now we just have to build the frame for the other tarp, so it's gonna be fun. Here we go. So what we decided to do is, I think we're gonna take one end of this, and we may go side to side. We haven't decided yet. And I'm gonna take the hammer here and dig a little hole, and then we're gonna take our one up support that has like a little fork in the branch, and we're gonna bury it in that hole, and then we'll use our paracord to tie it to the main beam and hang the tarp over it. Of course, we're gonna test it all before we let go and sleep under it, but I think it's gonna be pretty cool. So using just a few small limbs and branches, we've created a little frame here. We're about to hang up the wood and tie it off and see what it's gonna look like. I'm afraid it's all just gonna collapse, but I guess we'll see here in just a minute. These guys have been working hard. I think we're having a good time.
Hey, Big Bay.
All right, we're heading up the hill. It's back to our campsite, and we're almost set up. We got the supports ready to go, and now we're about to throw up the other tarp and be ready to go. I think everybody's getting hungry, so
Hungry.
Let's make some classic stew.
You guys have never probably even seen that commercial about Baby Back Ribs.
Well, no. This is from Austin Power.
Look, guys, they're still standing.
Let's go.
Perfect. All right, one more support, and then we will hang the tarp. This is what we ended up coming up with. So we did do 2 straight frames, and then we used the tarp and some paracord to help secure everything. And this is what it looks like. It's pretty dope. So all the guys are gonna set up their cots and their areas to sleep in. We're gonna have a lot of fun the rest of the night. We're getting ready to start the fire, and I'll be sleeping here because in the tent with a bunch of teenagers is not my scene. So small fire going. Started it ourselves, pretty fun. Little bitty camp hangout time. Just finished eating hot dogs, and tent is still standing. It's looking pretty good. Everybody's excited to get some rest. We didn't anticipate how hard it was going to be to cut down trees and make a tent from scratch, but it has been fun. Yeah, I guess that's true. We are sitting around the fire trying to have some good times. We all just cooked some hot dogs and trying to keep the fire going good. And we finally did, actually. So it's going to burn for a while. We're just going to hang out. I think we're about to play some music. And then we'll take an early night a little bit later. It's so nice. It's
too dark to read now.
Yeah, it is. It's got dark fast, but it feels good out here. The temperature is really nice.
Hey, Billy.
So. It's 6 in the morning, and we all slept pretty good, I think. The tent stayed standing. That's something. And now we're going to get up and pack it all up and get out of here this morning so we can all get back to our regular lives today. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm out at my grandparents' house again, and it's been a couple of days since the camp out, but I had just a very busy kind of middle of my week, and so I thought I would right here just kind of tell you guys how it all ended up. So things went really well. The guys kept saying things like, this is the most fun thing we've ever done, I'm having a great time, that kind of stuff, and I was just really excited that they had such a good time. I had a good time too. I didn't sleep all that well, but that wasn't the tent's fault. It was definitely on me for trying to make it through the night in a hammock. But it was fun. We had a really good time, and I guess I do want to say thanks to my dad for letting me have the camp out behind his house, which made it really easy because if we needed anything, we had that kind of backup plan,
But yeah, it was a super simple way to just go and get out like of the norm, get away from internet, get away from, you know, hanging out and playing sports or video games or whatever, and just do something just crazy, you know. And doing that with the guys, I think, was a real relationship builder, because there for that first couple hours, it was like, if we don't work together and build something, we're not gonna be able to really have a tent to sleep in, you know. Let's do something together. And it was a lot of fun. And so I think the guys had a good time. We didn't do anything too serious, just hung out together, you know, and I think our relationships grew and we had a great time. So if you'd like to know more about the process or anything, you know, that kind of happened with this whole tent camping idea, please feel free to leave a comment below. We will respond as quickly as we can. But until next time, thank you for checking out this vlog. God bless you. See you soon. Thanks for checking out my last video. As always, all likes and comments and subscriptions are so welcome and they help so much. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it and look forward to our next stuff coming out soon. Be sure to check out my songs as well as my vlogs. God bless you. See you soon.